So far, we covered a lot of material. So let's summarize what we covered, okay? Um, to begin with, we talked about data storage, the key fields and types of files that are methods to access data and storage. Um, it's important to know that we use HDD, SSD, databases and clouds to store data nowadays. And people need to know how it's organized using bits, characters, fields, records, and files. It's important to know all these things because every day we use it. With every time you go into YouTube, you use basically databases to access all your videos. Talk about database management systems, the advantages and the three database components. Database administrator, what it does, what it really is, and what the DBMS, which is database management system, what it really does, what it's for. We talked about database models, the hierarchical database, network, relational, object-oriented, and multidimensional. What they do, how they look like, what exactly is their process, what they do. Um, we talked about data mining, why people actually do data mining, for what reasons, to get that, for sources, for fusion and cleaning, data metadata, then data transport and data warehouse as well. Talked about databases in the digital economy. Some things you might know about Netflix and Pandora are pretty big deals. Um, it's part of the e-economy and also the e-commerce as well. It really helps out, and you have access to a lot of things using technology, cloud-based, and all these other great things that we already talked about in the past. Um, in addition to that, we talked about information systems in organizations using database systems to help make decisions. It's very important to know that every single time a company makes a decision is critical to their survival. So they use machines, have of high intelligence, of high power, to gather vast amounts of data to make these decisions happen and get the best result, the best possible decision that will give the best result. So isn't necessary for companies to have such things, especially large companies, because any decision can impact them in a very large manner if not checked every single block. Talked about artificial intelligence, where they can be found in expert systems, natural language processing, intelligent agents, pattern recognitions, virtual reality and simulation devices, robotics, fuzzy logic, neural networks, and talking about the future, which is artificial life. We also talked about ethics, the using databases, concerns, communication systems. Everybody knows in order to actually have a database, you also need a technician to monitor it and fix anything on it. That person or persons have an ethic obligation to ensure that none of the information divulges anywhere around the world. So, in a company, it is very risky to have people, because that's why you have to do a lot of background checks to ensure that the people that you're hiring or working with are not going to create more issues. For instance, taking private information, PI, and giving it to the world for money or for whatever reasons, and then your information is compromised, which is critical for a company anyway. Talk about security. We need to protect the computers and communications. If we don't do that, then we basically are not. We don't have any privacy, and also we don't have opportunity to do anything. Imagine your bank account get hacked all the time. Not good business. So with that being said, it is important for us to actually secure our information from anybody or anything. Not to give away our specific information to anybody. Um, the issues of We talked about the issues of theft on hardware, software, intellectual property. It can happen anywhere. Um, Errors, big things, human errors. Um, it just happens. So computer crimes, hackers, happens almost every single day. And we also went over the quality of life, the environment, mental health, child protection, and the workplace. Um, technology does create a big change in the environment. Reason being, um, everything you think about, it gets thrown away. You know, a computer can get thrown away. A blender is a technology too, and they can get thrown away. Millions and millions of items get thrown away every day. You know, as we speak, and that creates a environmental hazard as more wastelands grow, and also resources get used to build new ones. And then when they become old, they get thrown away. So it does create an effect the world as we know it. Also, we talk about the effects of children who are using computers and technology. The probability of them actually accessing explicit websites, and then we moved on to workplace problems, like for instance, an employee wasting time, computers taking 30 minutes to load, and moving on to cyberbullies, effects of emotional health when it comes to using technology every now and then. Moving on to economic and political issues, we talked about employment and the have and have-nots, how technology is really concerning to a lot of people because it takes jobs. For instance, Amazon uses or robotics or very smart automotive robots that move boxes from left to right. Usually their warehouses are not, they don't have that much light because there's not enough people that they hire to monitor these areas. So it's mostly robotics that do all the exchanging. Digital divide between the rich and poor, pretty simple. Poor cannot afford all these things, and the rich have access to all the technology they want. Um, who doesn't enter the serve? Anybody who has the ability to manipulate it. So whoever has the most money. And in a world of breakneck change, can you still survive? Can you still thrive? Well, yes, as long as you take the right precautions and ensure that you have everything covered. Um, but other than that, that really summarizes everything that we talked about. It is important to understand that we are in an ever-changing world, and security is a really big concern. And I can't say that enough because if there's anything that this world needs is more security experts on the cybernetic side. And if we don't have that, then anybody can with the smarts can access everybody's PI. And if that happens, then really nobody's safe. Everybody's profiles is open source to anybody, and therefore you're gonna have a big brother basically, according to George Orwell. You're gonna have somebody always watching you, no privacy. In any case, thank you so much for listening, and this concludes my presentation.